This was a very difficult video for me to start. I felt very tired most of the day today, and actually all this week. Just feeling a little bit tired, but I seem to have gotten a little bit more energy just to do this video. But I'm back. I've been not posting for a while. I've been dealing with school, which I finished. Well, I actually had to end it early, cut school short because of the stress that it brought into my life. So I would say pretty much these last 5 years of my life has been transformative, while at the same time very stressful and painful, you know. Because sometimes it's like those hard lessons, those harsh times, those painful times, they become our biggest teacher. And so it's like, do we learn our lessons? Do we listen to the teachers? Or do we have to continue to repeat them? Because sometimes these harsh lessons, these harsh things that we go through, they meant to bring us to life, bring us back to life, bring us back into remembrance of who we are and what we are capable of, what we are capable of doing, the immense power that each one of us holds. We are all powerful. So I've been doing a lot of healing through that process, learning to adapt to the new things going around me. It's like I was relearning who I am, and it's like my awareness had to sharpen. I had to strengthen my awareness. And with strengthening that awareness, it actually takes a great deal of accountability, because if you don't hold yourself accountable to the choices you make and the kind of life that you live, it's kind of hard to have that awareness, because you're supposed to act on those changes. Like whatever you see, if it's not serving you, you're supposed to figure out how you can make yourself better in a sense so that you can grow. Because you can ask yourself this question: am I the same person that I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 months ago? Can you actually say that about yourself? And you can learn to just learn to grow and evolve. And although it can be painful, it can also be very beneficial, because it's like climbing those tiers. Okay. So I have notes over here so I wouldn't forget what I'm doing. And if anyone hasn't seen any of my videos, I know my channel went through several name changes. And one of the names that I used to use from 2017 all the way up to probably like earlier this year, it was Calypso. I don't know where that name came from, and actually, I think I've told the story before. What struck me was the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. My sun sign is a Cancer, and I've watched that movie like many, many, many times. But somewhere in 2017, it struck me different. It hit something like some sort of remembrance. But what I didn't know was this is a remembrance of a past life. Um, but I chose the name Calypso because for some reason I resonated so much with that name, and then it threw me for a loop when she she burst into a whole bunch of crabs and everything. So that was kind of like weird and everything. But I guess basically what I'm saying is like I no longer resonate with the name Calypso no more, because if you actually look into the Encyclopedia of Spirits, the name, well, actually, the character, she's from like the Odyssey and all that kind of stuff, but she was a person who was hidden. The name means like to be hidden and all of that. And a lot of the things that are described in the Encyclopedia of Spirits, it resonated a lot with who I was at that time during 2017, and throughout a few more years. But based on the kind of transformation I've been going through for the past year, it's like I can't resonate with that name no more. So I had to leave it behind, because it's like I no longer want to be seen as that person who hides, that person who like lingers in the shadows and stuff like that. So it's like whatever that name resonated with, it's like it's not me anymore. So I had to, in a sense, dump it. And what I didn't realize is that the reason why I stuck to that name was because it was past energy, past life that I brought over into this one, and I had to break that cycle. I didn't want to continue to repeat those cycles. I'm seeing some people in the chat saying hello, hi, I see you all. I just didn't want to get too distracted and kind of like lose my, I guess, my points and everything. But I see y'all in the chat. Hi. If y'all want to put in the chat where y'all from, feel free. Let's keep it positive in here. So yeah, so basically the letting go of the name Calypso, it was like clearing like an old pattern from a past life, and it kind of like helped me to like grow, because we talk about those karmic patterns and stuff, breaking these chains instead of like staying the same. No, I'm not on one of those he, she, vegan, vegetarian, binary. No, I'm not into any of that. Okay. Before I move on with my video, I just wanted to say that, oh, okay. I've never heard of that quote before. So, um, but yeah, I have not put anything online though, but it's like, I created a bundle for cold and flu season for tea, for people who drink tea. And I'm making them in bundles because I feel like it's better. And the tea bundle that I've created, well, not created, but decided to bundle is echinacea, peppermint, and mullein, because it is that time of the season and people like to keep their respiratory system going. So I chose those. Like the mullein is like more so towards the lung support. Of course, it can be used for other things. The peppermint for the respiratory system, and then the echinacea for the support, uh, immune system support. So I have those bundles. And if you're interested in purchasing cold and flu season bundles that I've kind of like put together, y'all can send me an email or whatever. Um, so I guess my next point that I wanted to get into is understanding that deep healing, it can be painful. It's not pretty. I know some people be like, yeah, I'm on this. People think this healing journey is easy. It's not. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work, and it's not for the faint of heart. And I do want to mention that even like in um, in my experience, okay, that's interesting. I was gonna mention about drugs. Like, if you're interested in like healing and everything, depending on how you using those, drugs, it doesn't matter what it is. It can hold you back from your healing. I see someone says I'm stuck. What do you mean you're stuck? Um, so I just like learned a lot of things on my journey, and like I never saw myself to become like addicted to MJ, but under all the stress, I saw something like happening. And so I had to actually realize and recognize what was happening and learn to like, because I used to use it for spiritual things. Because my senses are like up there, like getting my downloads. They be so crystal clear. And it's like the messages and stuff are strong. And so that was like one of the initial reasons why I liked smoking, the MJ. But it wasn't like an everyday thing. Like, I can go weeks or days without smoking it. But once I became under this stress, and like in 2024, all of that changed, and I started to use it as a crutch. So part of me became sad that I can no longer like use it once I recognized I was using it as a crutch. Um, so yeah, like if you are gonna use it, I would definitely recommend being intentional with it instead of just like, yeah, I'm gonna go smoke. But I would say definitely be intentional with it. And I've already mentioned about recognizing and yeah, I've already talked about the awareness and accountability. That's I think that was like one of my starting points was for my healing, was being accountable for every situation that I put myself in. Even if it was the other person was being abusive or whatever, it was just like, okay, did I see the red flags? Did I ignore the red flags? So learning to take accountability even in the not so great situations that I put myself in. And so that was actually probably like my starting journey of like healing back in 2021. Also, I also been learning that we have to explore the different types of healing, because healing looks different for everyone, and there is different uh, for an example, I mean, we have like sound, like using singing sound bowls or the frequencies. I always have a hard time pronouncing solfeggio, those frequencies. Um, there is Reiki, like energy work. There's just different ways of healing, and then literally like you have like hand mudras, also like doing breath work is also healing in a way. And so it's like I had to like explore with these different things and actually kind of like figure out which ones work the best for me. And actually, Erin Lyons, she had a quiz on her website, and I did her quiz about what was the best way for me to heal. And when I was done with my quiz, it said sound and resonance was the best way for my body type to heal. And so I've actually been using lots of sound and frequency on my healing journey. Like whether it's waking up in the morning or if I need to just kind of like relax just later on in the day, I would just, turn on those frequencies. Let's see, my next point, let's see. Getting help outside of yourself to help you boost. We don't have to do all of this healing alone. Sometimes you have to seek things outside of yourself to actually help you come back into a remembrance of who you are. So sometimes we just might hit like a fork in the road or something. It's like, dang, man, I don't know what to do next. I just feel like I ain't moving. And sometimes we may need to seek out another practitioner. That's what I had to do. Like I've sought out other practitioners and did like energy work and biofield tuning with them. Sometimes you might need to get a reading from another practitioner because you can maybe be too close or whatever to your own situation. So sometimes you have to seek outside of yourself. And yes, we can talk about the medicinal parts too. Whether it's, the MJ, the shrooms, whatever it is, that's something considered outside of yourself too. And some people have these different awakenings and things, and what you want to call it, I don't know how to call it when people have these experiences of where they, it's like they died in a sense. So it's like there's many, many tools that we can use to actually help us come back and remember who we are, to help boost and like help, evolve our souls. And another thing too that I experience is deep solitude, hermit mode. And I've actually heard other spiritualists talk about how they had periods of time where they was alone. They didn't have nobody. It was like they was on this journey trying to figure out who they are. And so that's one of those signs how you know you're in like this deep healing phase, coming back to like whether it's purging, if you needed to purge some things out of your life. Sometimes you gotta walk that lone wolf journey to help you, I guess you can say, find your path, find your soul path. The throat's been a little dry. Yeah, I think I'm fresh out of info right now, and I didn't want to drag it on. It's coming up on 20 minutes, and I just wanted to put this video out there. I've been gone for so long, but it's like I've learned so much wisdom. It's been a pretty interesting journey. So I'm gonna leave it right here. And like I said, if you're interested in this Cold and Flu Season T bundle, you can shoot me an email, and or if you're seeking a consultation, shoot me an email. All right, I am going to leave it here, and I will see you all hopefully in another video. Take care.